The goal of this video is to help you feel comfortable interacting with these individuals. You'll learn the right words to use and a few terms you should avoid. You'll also learn some basic techniques for providing assistance to older adults, people who are blind, and passengers who use assistive devices. As you'll see, many people, even some wheelchair users, can use standard vehicles and will appreciate the help you provide. Imagine a wall. When a person with a disability is planning an outing, what comes to that person's mind are all of the obstacles or bricks in a wall that limit their every move. For example, buses with a lack of seating, taxis that will not stop, and subways with limited accessible stops are all barriers. By incorporating the following 4 steps, you can break down the wall of exclusion and create a wall of inclusion. First, the W in wall. The W stands for watch. Be observant of passengers and their abilities. If the person looks like he or she might need additional assistance, approach the person in a friendly manner and introduce yourself. This is especially important when picking up someone who is blind or has low vision. Observe the passenger and structure your approach based on that person's specific needs. The all-important A in the wall is for ask. Ask the person, "How may I assist you?" If your passenger uses a wheelchair, walker, or rollator, do not attempt to dismantle it and store the device without first asking the passenger's permission. A good approach is to ask the passenger, "Do you have a preference as to how I stow your wheelchair or other assistive device?" Remember that an assistive device is almost like an extension of someone's body. In addition to assistive devices, it is also necessary to allow service animals to travel in your vehicles. Service animals should be allowed to ride with the passenger on the floor of the back seat of the car. Be polite and mindful of the language you use, and never hesitate to ask the person's preferences. The ask leads you to the first L, which is to listen. Once you ask a passenger how you may assist, they will give you specific instructions on how to best accommodate them. Pay attention to what the passenger says, and then act on what they say. You can also repeat the instruction for complete clarity. If they don't need or want assistance, take no for an answer. Finally, the last L is to learn. Let the customer know that you understand their needs and respond appropriately. Store this information and the experience to build your knowledge for the future. If you follow these 4 letters, you will break down that wall and create a simple, positive experience and a satisfied passenger. Here are a few more detailed tips to help passengers that might need assistance. Passenger with a scooter. Smaller scooters can be dismantled and placed in the trunk. The seat is removable. The release lever is under the seat. Never lift a scooter seat by the arms. They will flip up. The tiller can be loosened and folded down. Then the scooter can be lifted into the trunk. Always lift from the base. This, of course, is appropriate for smaller scooters only. If you need to roll the scooter, there is a freewheel lever that you must release first. Ask the passenger if they are able to put the scooter in neutral to avoid any damage to the scooter. Passengers with large scooters need a wheelchair-accessible vehicle with a ramp or lift. Passenger with a manual wheelchair. There are 2 types of wheelchairs: power and manual wheelchairs. Power wheelchairs require vehicles that have a lift or ramp. Manual wheelchairs come in 2 types, folding and non-folding. Folding wheelchairs are collapsible by removing the seat cushion and pulling up the seat, by moving a release bar or pulling a cord. This type of wheelchair can be stowed easily in a vehicle trunk or behind a seat. Ask the passenger for their recommendation regarding the best way to fold the chair. Non-folding wheelchairs can be easily disassembled for stowage. The large rear wheels have a button in the center of the wheel for removal. Push the button in, hold and pull the wheel straight out. To replace the wheel, keep the button depressed until the wheel is in place. Then release and give the wheel a tug to make sure it is securely fastened. Always lift these chairs by the frame, never by the wheels, armrest, or footrest. Ask the passenger how to set the brakes. Passenger who is blind or low vision. Passenger with a service animal. A person with a service animal should always be allowed in your vehicle. Properly trained service animals will be easily guided into the back seat of the vehicle and onto the floor of the back seat. If it is raining or there is inclement weather, it is helpful to have a blanket or beach towel in your trunk. When guiding someone who is blind, place yourself next to the blind passenger and allow them to take your arm. Do not grab the passenger, just allow them to lightly grasp your elbow. Be sure to be very descriptive as you guide them into your car. Familiarizing blind passengers with their surroundings is welcome help. Lastly, it's important to use the proper language when communicating with people. This means that the word handicap is outdated. The preferred term is a person with disabilities. Treating all passengers with respect and dignity will benefit your business.